Now we're going to have a welcome from our president, Bill Brissy. Bill, this is going to be Bill's last year as president. He's been president for a long time, about 20 years, I think. He just had his 88th birthday this week. I know he doesn't look 88, but he used to. And I want to tell y'all, we're going to have a board meeting of the Touchdown Club on the morning of September the 23rd at Mama Penn's at 8 o'clock. Anybody who would like to be involved in the leadership of the club, we're going to elect a vice president, somebody who's going to be taking over for Bill next year, and some other board members. So if you're interested in being part of the leadership of the Anderson Touchdown Club, be there at Mama Penn's, 8 o'clock, September the 23rd. All right, we're going to turn it over to Bill.
Thank you, George. You know, I appreciate you mentioning my birthday, but you know, this is our birthday of the Touchdown Club. Don't whether you know it or not, but 38 years ago, this club was organized, and Dwayne Loftus, I want to thank you, and I always thank you for your forethought, and he and Ike Brissy for getting this club started 38 years ago. Give her a hand to Dwayne. Of course, George Duckworth always does such a good job, and if you notice those speakers that we've got this year, we've got some really outstanding speakers. I think it's a great thing, George, and I really appreciate the work that you've done. And Jim Frazier, on picking the players of the week, he and I are the same age, and I think he looks about 20 years older than me. I'm not sure about that. What do y'all think? Anyway, he's done a great job over the years, just a tremendous job. There's so many people, and of course Bill Corder and Donnie Nix are back this year. They're your money takers out front. We appreciate that. And of course Kevin Selman is our pick'em contest. He does a great job. Scott Smith is our picture taker, and we appreciate him. And of course we couldn't do without Nancy Smith. She's here and she's running, really putting a lot of this stuff together, and I appreciate her very much. This year, you might notice that we had a separate category so far as donations are concerned, and we've had several people to donate into that. The speakers that we're trying to get are a little bit higher than what we've been paying in the past, and so we've been trying to get some better speakers, and so we're having to pay more money. So we started a category of donor speakers. So we've done pretty well with that so far. In fact, we've had a couple of our club members, Chuck Meredith and Thomas Copeland. They donated from their company, and we've had John Spear to donate, and we've had several others that have made comments. Not necessarily these are outside people. We had one guy that gave me an anonymous donation when I just mentioned who we might have speaking. And so I think that's going to be a good category, and we'll be able to get some better speakers, pay more money in the future, and I think that'll be a real good category. And I want to thank everybody. In fact, to date, we have about $1,500 in the kitty already, and we expect somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000 when we finish this. And I really want to thank everybody that's been here, Dillard Sporting Goods, Billy Dillard and Bill Dillard, because Bill Dillard has not been, but Billy has been around. I think maybe he was a baby back then, but when the club started. But we want to thank them, and Marlon Moore at Dillard's Trophy Shop. We want to thank him, and of course Ralph Little does the program that he prints every week at the printer. We want to thank him, and we have about 75 or 80 meals during the year that we have to purchase for the players and the coaches that come up for their awards each week. So it's about 80 of them, somewhere in that neighborhood. Damon Granger and Roger Cox at Granger Nissan has been so good to this club, and they have made a donation to pay for all those meals. And they also, we've got a new member, a new donor that's going to give the coach that $100 gift certificate. We've got Steakhouse 41, which is new up on Clemson Boulevard, they're giving $50 a week, and Damon Granger and Granger Nissan is giving us 50, so we'll be able to give you coaches $100 a week if y'all just play well and come out here and win the Coach of the Year. And maybe you can, talk to Jim during the week and maybe get him to do a little bit, so he'll give you that, he'll take a little money, or maybe go eat with you. But we've had just a tremendous ride in these 20 years, and I want to thank you for that. And of course, Richard Spear at Morningside's been a donor for a long time, and he gives the football that we give away for the door prize each week. And of course, it's just been, like I say, a great thing. And we have two people that, I don't know whether when you come to the annual meeting, we have a professional printed program. And this is donated and has been donated for a few years by a company down in Greenwood, South Carolina. They're big South Carolina people, but they donate this program each year, and that's our main money raiser for the whole year when we sell ads in this program. So we appreciate that very much. Rocky Duncan, are you here today, Rocky?
He's not here.
Rocky usually comes up. What about Don Clark? Did Don get?
No, they're not here. I'm here on their behalf. Allison
Okay.
and our.
Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate what you've done, and it's just been a tremendous time. So I'm not going to take a whole lot more time to set. We're going to get our program started here pretty soon. But I want to thank all you members for what you've done. Y'all been very loyal, joining every year. Some of you have been just great members, and when we need something, you've stepped up to the plate. And I just want to thank you for what you've done all these years. And you'll be seeing my face a few more meetings during the year. But thank you so much for everybody and for everything that you've done.
Thank you, Bill. All right, now, to go over the rules for the Pick'em contest on Kevin Selman.
Good morning, folks. I left some of these at the back table and at the end of the table, so if you have any questions, feel free to take a look. But nothing's changed. We're going to have only Touchdown Club members are eligible to participate for prizes. Make sure you put your name and your number at the top of each page. It's got to be submitted before you leave. We can't take them after Friday when we get ready to leave this place. If you don't put your name on there, it doesn't get graded. 20 games, just like always. If you don't pick a game, it's counted as an automatic loss. If for some reason the game is on the sheet and it gets postponed or delayed or whatever, it counts as a win for everybody. Let's see here. Yearly awards determined by your 8 best weeks. If you're here for all 12 meetings and you make a pick every week, you drop your worst 4. Late in the year, I'll start giving out standings so you can kind of see where you are. But other than that, it's the same. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, now, for that moment that everybody always looks so forward to every week, we don't have any players of the week this week, but we do have jokes of the week, and one of the things we're going to be giving away to the winners when we have the drawing at the end of the year is one of the joke books from Coach Frazier. And I tell you what we would love to do, we'd love for everybody to have one of his joke books and just bring them with you, and he could just call out page numbers. But, all right, we're going to turn it over to Coach Frazier.
Thank you, George. Hello, everybody. Now, George declined to tell you that each one of those joke books has a dollar bill in there so you don't waste coming up here to pick it up in case you win it. But it's been a great summer. I'm finishing up 25 years. That means 325 of these meetings. That means you've been exposed to 650 bad jokes. As somebody says, no, Coach, 130 bad jokes told 5 times each. But you know, a good joke is made to savor and tell over and over. The preacher doesn't start preaching. You preach from John 3:16 before, I don't wanna hear John 3:16 again. Don't play White Christmas anymore. Your wife tells you, I love you, honey. Hey, you told me that before, don't tell me that. You gotta savor these jokes. And besides, I don't think some of you might have caught on yet. But it's great, look at these coaches, all blind-eyed and bushy-tailed. All of them had great summers. All of them slept like babies. Of course, waking up every hour on hour crying. Slept like logs. Waking up in the fireplace. I heard one of them was behind in a 7-on-7, about eight touchdowns to 2. So he hollered at his quarterback, "Hey son, is anything open?" And one of his fans up in the stands says, "Yeah, coach, Liberty's open. Why don't you try for it?" And they don't look it, but they all bilingual. That means, Bill, they speak 2 languages, English and profanity. So what better to start the football season than a football joke? So here we go. This kid was ineligible and the coach says, never mind. Says, I'm gonna give you a test. A partner's gonna give you a test. He's gonna ask you 3 questions. And I think you should do very well on them. So the partner says to the kids, okay, says, how many weeks, how many days in the week start with T? And the kid says, 2. He says, name them. He says, today and tomorrow. No, but I will accept that. Okay, how many seconds in a year? Here's a calculator. Kid without hesitations, 12 seconds. Only 12 seconds, yep. January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd. Okay, here's my last one. It says, what is God's first name? This is a hard one now. The kid without hesitation once again says, Andy. Andy? How do you know that? Well, says, I go to the garden alone, and he talks with me, and he walks with me, and he tells, you got it? And great, glad to be back, and look what you got to look forward to.
It's hard to believe he got that many good jokes together in just a year. All right, now to introduce our coaches, one of the great all-time coaches himself, Bill Bressy.
I tell you what, that's a real hard act to follow, you know it. Jim, you've done great. You just continue. We'll remember those for a long, long time. Our first coach that we're going to introduce today is not here. Anyway, we're going to introduce Jack King, who's substituting and had coached Jeff Tate when years ago. Of course, Jack King will come up and tell you about the stories that Jeff Tate told you and how bad they're going to be. And I hate I lost, but I left my crying towels in the office, and I meant to bring them because I know it's going to be a lot of sad stories up here today. But Coach Tate's last season had a 10-3 record, and of course the reason he's missing not here today is because they're playing down at Mercer, down in Georgia, and so he couldn't be here. The team had to leave early to go down there. This is his 12th year of coaching at Wren. He followed Coach King who's representing him today, and Coach Tate's married to Lynn. They have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Coach King?
Okay, Jeff Tate, of course, in 1972, the first year I went to Wren, we were putting together a team, and it was, I didn't know what I was doing really, but I was putting together a team, and I decided that I was going to start with a young team, and I had some older guys, but there was a red-headed 9th grader named Jeff Tate, and he could throw the fool out of football. And I said, I'll make him quarterback. He started for me for 4 years at quarterback and did a great job, and went on to play college ball. So I'm proud to stand up here for Jeff today. They're not playing Mercer University, playing at Mercer against Camden County in Georgia. And his son is the assistant athletic director at Mercer. And so that's one of the reasons they're down there. He's wanted me to thank the Touchdown Club and the support that you give, and that wished he could be here, but they left early this morning, not early, but they left this morning, and they're down there. He has 7 offensive starters returning, 7 defensive starters from a 10-3 team, and he's got some good players. Eli Wilson is one of his receivers. He's already committed to Appalachian State. Tyler Cherry is another one. He's got several offers. He had over 1,000 yards receiving last season. He said he has Colin Kosak and Nick Earl return at tackle, and Devin Cooley and Hunter Fountain at guard on their offensive line. And then on their defense, he's got a boy who's committed to Wofford named Harrison Morgan, a defensive back, and he leads the secondary along with Nick Morgan, his brother, and Cam Clay Gambrell and Des Frazier and Shaheem Scotland. So they've got some good players there. Linebackers Reed Morrissey and Carson Galloway, and he said he has 22 seniors, so this should be a good year for him, and the leadership will be there. And he wanted to be sure that I thanked you for everything that you've done for this club. And I want to tell you this one little story. Everybody's talking about stuff. You know, you hear people all the time that are negative. They're all the time negative. You say something to them and they'll be grumbling. Well, there was this guy who went to his barber, and his barber's one of those type people. And the barber said, "What you gonna do this summer?" He said, "Well, my wife and I are going on vacation." He says, "Well, where are you going?" He said, "We're going to Rome, Italy." He said, "Oh man, you won't like it there. I went there. It's hot, it's dirty, you won't like it there." He said, "How are you flying?" He said, "I'm flying Delta." He said, "Oh man, last time I flew Delta, seats were tight, the food was terrible, service, I had delays." He said, "You won't like that." He said, "Well, where are you gonna stay?" He said, "Oh, we're staying at the Marriott downtown Rome." He said, "Oh, I stayed there, it's awful. Rooms were tight." He said, "Service, no concierge." He said, "It's bad." So he said, "What are you going to do there?" He said, "Well, I'm going to go see the Pope." He said, "See the Pope?" He said, "We went there," said, "we were so far away when he walked out on the balcony, we couldn't even take a picture. So that's terrible." So the guy went out of the barbershop with his head down and all. So he goes on vacation. About a month later, he comes back to get a haircut. The barber said, "How was your vacation?" He says, "Fantastic. It was great." The barber kind of looked down and says, well, tell me this. How about your flight? How'd your flight go?" "Man, we got to the gate and they had messed up, and we got first class tickets on Delta all the way over, and we got them back too." I said, "Man, it was just super. Food on the plane was great. Everything was good." I said, "Well, I bet the hotel wasn't any good." He said, "Oh, they just refurbished it. It was brand new rooms. Everything was nice, big." I said, "We just loved it." "Well, did you go see the Pope?" I said, "You won't believe this. We were the 1,000th couple to walk through the gate, and they grabbed us and said, 'You get to see the Pope personally today.'" And he said, "What?" I said, "Yep." I said, "They took us right up to the Pope, and we were there," and said, "I bent down and I kissed his ring." He said, "Well, what did he say?" He said, "Where'd you get that lousy haircut?"
Thank you, Jeff. Coach, our next coach that we're presenting is Coach Scott Early from Westside High School. Coach Early is entering his 25th year of coaching, his 4th at Westside. Coach Early has coached 2 sons at Westside, the youngest, Bryce, still on the team. Westside's playing Boiling Springs tonight. He's married to Christy, and they have 5 children, and he can tell you about his dogs also. Coach Scott.
Thank you, Bill. I don't think I need that, do you? But Bill messed up one thing. I'm actually entering my 6th season at Westside. And I know some of y'all thought I wasn't gonna be here but 5 minutes, but the reason I'm here is I love my school, I love my kids. We have tremendous leadership. We're facilitated in every way possible. And the people we work for understand that, you know, athletics is just a vehicle that you use to help young people, and it's a privilege to work in A5. And while I'm up here, I'd like to welcome Coach Tone. He is a heck of a football coach and an even better man. And you Yellow Jackets that think something might drop off, it might drop because Zach Pickens is not there anymore, but it ain't gonna be because of that guy, because he's a heck of a football coach. And Coach, welcome to Anderson 5, the best district in the state of South Carolina. This is weird this time, you know, because normally Clemson hadn't played a game, so I come in here and see all this orange, but I know y'all are happy this morning. If any of y'all know the head coach at Georgia Tech, I'd love to get him on our schedule next year. Come on, y'all got a sense of humor, right? I mean, you're not going to lose the game all year because you don't play anybody, so y'all should be happy. Y'all should be ecstatic. This morning I got a call from Coach Herron. He wanted me to update y'all on his retirement. We talked for a long time this morning, and he says that the fish are not biting, but everything else is wonderful in his life, and he said to pass along that he missed being here. And remember that, you know, sometimes in the coaching business we tell people what they want to hear, but he's having a good time, enjoying himself. So he's just wanted to say hello to everybody, and that call meant the world to me this morning because he's a class act and a great man, and I learned a lot from him while he was here. I know y'all waiting on me to talk about Westside, but there's really not much to say about Westside. Except, you know, we first 3 years we were here, we had great seasons, and then we had a good one, and then last year we had a bad one. And you know, the injuries, scheduling, you know, last year we played the #1 RPI schedule in the state, and this year 5 of our 10 opponents is ranked preseason top 5. You know, and my philosophy's always been, you know, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So that starts for us tonight in Boiling Springs. We've got 24 seniors, where last year we only had 16. We have a great culture, great chemistry, great character. Our kids are doing really, really well. Our numbers are down, but the ones we do have are the kind you want. And this is probably the most exciting season I've been into as a head coach since I left Myrtle Beach, because I just love being around them. I mean, they show up every day. They love to play. They love to practice. They enjoy the process. They make good decisions. And normally on this level, when that happens, that takes care of the scoreboard, no matter how talented you are. So I'm looking forward to this year. I had to write a few things down because one thing I missed, Bill, is I know Bill's 88, but last night his grandson, Andrew Gall, had an unbelievable night in football, and we were able to beat Boiling Springs 28-14, and I know that made you proud. And, you know, I know Grace is gone, but we love you, man. We love you, and we appreciate all you do. And when you're driving to Boiling Springs tonight, please don't get caught speeding. Okay. We are, see what else I'd just like to, you know, wish everybody at the table luck. And, you know, our philosophy this year is, you know, a lot of things has changed in my life and the way I do things. And, you know, we too blessed to be stressed and just lucky to be here in a great district, coaching a great game. And thank the Touchdown Club for all they do, recognizing these kids. I'd like to thank Dickie Smith for sending a Google share for them. We've actually moved into the 21st century now, I think. You know, and you know, for y'all to sustain this kind of attendance over 38 years is an example of how important football is this area. So my hat's off to you, and I'm not at all being the least bit disrespectful, but we got a long trip to Boiling Springs, so I'm gonna do one of these drop the mic deals, and Russell, if you want to get me while I'm gone, feel free. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach. Next on the list is Coach Robert Mustar from Paddlesville High School. Coach Mustar has been the only coach that Paddlesville's ever had. Coach Mustar is a graduate of Wren High. He was assistant coach under Coach Tate He's married to Jennifer, 19 years. They have a daughter, Avery. And Powder Bill will host Belton Honey Path tonight. Coach.
Hey, once again, I'd like to echo some things that some people in front of me have said. It's good to be back. You guys do a tremendous amount for not just kids at Powdersville, all the schools in the Anderson district. And I can tell you, my kids, they certainly look forward to coming. In order for them to come, we got to win some games. And last year was not a year we represented the Touchdown Club or had kids, come and represent our school at the Touchdown Club. We won one game last year. We're looking for a turnaround, okay? Last year, I'll be honest with you, was probably the worst season that we had in the history of our school, and that's going back to our very first varsity season when we didn't win a single game. We were 0-10. But that year, we didn't have seniors. Last year, we had them. But we were thin. We had a bunch of injuries. It sounds like excuses. It's the truth of the matter. What I would like to tell you is we got a lot to look forward to at Powdersville because we have a great group of kids in middle school last year. They had a good game at BHP, represented our school very well last night. So we have that to look forward to. But we had guys playing last year. In all honesty, 9th and 10th graders should have been playing JV, but they just happened to be more talented than some of the guys we had on the varsity. So we bumped them up. They took their lumps, and now they've got some experience. Hopefully the nerves and the jitters are gone, and they can just pin their ears back and play. We start with a very tough opponent tonight, and we know that, and that's why we put them on the schedule. That's why we put Wren on the schedule. That's why we put Clinton, Walhalla, and Palmetto in our non-region play, because we want to see great opponents before we get into that region play. And that's not the right philosophy for everybody, but I think it's right for us. Or at least the head coach thinks so. Some parents of our kids might not think so. But got the utmost respect for everybody sitting here, and just, BHP tonight, we know what kind of product they're going to bring. It's going to be a tough, hard-nosed football team. They're going to be big, they're going to be fast, they're going to be physical, and our kids are going to have to play a nearly perfect game to even be in the game. But this group of kids, even though they're some of the youngest kids we've had, they're the most coachable kids that we've had. I'll speak about just a few of them real quick. Connor Graham he's a senior. He's a 4-year starter on the varsity for us. He's an offensive lineman, defensive lineman. He's not committed anywhere. He's got some looks at a few schools. Keandre Hunter's a junior. He's probably one of our best offensive players at running back. Will Goforth is probably our leader on the defensive side of the ball, and he's a linebacker. And then Joe McGuss, a receiver, and we're counting on him to do some special things for us. But once again, echo what everybody else has already said. Thank you so much, and bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Next one will be Coach Jan Radford, Pendleton High School coach. And we want to congratulate Coach Radford. He's a newly married man. And Carrie, I believe, is here today. Stand up, Carrie. Is Carrie here today? Good. Good to have you here. Coach Radford is in his second year as a head coach at Pendleton. He's had 26 years of coaching experience. In his first year as a Bulldog coach, they won 9 games, captured their first regional title since 2011. Of course, most of you probably don't know, or maybe you do know, Coach Radford is an Anderson native. He graduated from T.L. Hanna and Clemson. And Pickens will be playing, Pickens and Pendleton will be playing tonight. That's their first game.
Thank you, Mr. Brissy. I just want to say thanks to all the members of the Touchdown Club for what y'all do for us. I think this is a great thing. It's a dying thing in a lot of places. It's a tribute to the leadership for being able to keep it together so many years. I can remember Coach Blacks and I were joking the other day about way back when it started. I think we were playing, or maybe right before us when it started. It's just really great that y'all been able to keep it together. And I'm giving most of y'all a lot of credit here by saying, well, a lot of y'all were here way back then. You're still here, and that's a great thing for everybody here. I want to say thanks to my wife. I finally found somebody that put up with me and with what I do. I appreciate you for putting up with me and loving me and all the stuff that comes with being married to me. I appreciate it. Our team, we had a great year last year, but we had 18 seniors who graduated, and none of those guys are going to help us win a single game this year. We've got 4 returners on defense. Our Our big defensive lineman will be back. He was here a couple times last year. He's 6'6", about 360, 365, depending on what time of day it is. He can cause some issues in the middle of the field. And we lost one of our leading tackler last year in practice after the region championship. He didn't get to play in the playoffs. He had ACL surgery, and he's come back really good. Looking for bigger and better things out of him. He'll be one of the main guys that leads us on defense. Those two together, I think, are going to kind of anchor us on the defensive side. We also returned one guy in the secondary. Kobe Gibson played corner for us last year. He's going to play a little bit of safety and corner. And one of our other defensive linemen, Isaiah Sadler. We're looking for some big things out of him this year. Offensively, pretty much all those guys graduated. We moved our tailback out to our ex-receiver spot to try to give him the ball a little bit more in space. And one of our key newcomers, one of our basketball point guard, the basketball team, we chased him last year when we got over there and just couldn't get him to come out. And about halfway through the year, he came up and said, "Coach, I made a mistake." I said, "Well, you just need to come see us in the spring." He's done a lot of great things for us in the summer and in the jamborees. He's got a lot of big play capability, so we're looking for some good things out of Bobby Spear too. Once again, we play at Piggins tonight. They're big, physical, run the wing tee. We're gonna get our mental toughness challenge tonight, and we're looking forward to it. So, thanks to everybody. Thanks for everything y'all do for us. Good luck to everybody this year. One other thing I want to throw in: did y'all know that Coach Evans one time when he was in the 10th grade, we were taking batting practice one day, and when I coached him in baseball a long, long time ago, y'all know he actually hit a cow in the head with a ball off his bat. I bet you there's nobody else in here that can actually say that they are capable of doing that. But he actually hit a ball and there's a cow pasture behind the baseball field. He actually hit the cow in the head with a baseball. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Thank you, Coach. I also wanted to mention that in 1948, Coach Radford's daddy was a tailback on the team, and I played on at Boys High School. So anyway,
Any of y'all are going to Mac Smith up in
just
France? There's a picture of it up there too.
yeah. Next on our list is Coach Jason Tone from T.L. Hanna High School. He's beginning his first year at T.L. Hanna coach, and he was 2 years as offensive coordinator under Jeff Herron, of course, all of you know, who retired. He grew up in Valdosta, Georgia. He played on offensive line. He attended Valdosta State University and coached through college and was hired full-time with the Vikings. He's married to Emily for 16 years. They have 2 children, Jordan and Isaac. Welcome to Anderson, Coach. Welcome to the Anderson Area Touchdown Club. T.L. Hanna plays at home tonight against Emerald. Thank you. Welcome.
Appreciate y'all having me here today. I just want to echo what all the other coaches said, Coach Frazier and all the Touchdown Club members for having us and making football important. I've been around a lot of big programs in South Georgia, and there's nothing like this ever. I mean, I've never been a part of anything like this where I've come in a couple of weeks with some of our players and y'all just make football important, high school football important. We really appreciate that. I don't really know what to say. You know, Coach Early, he kind of embarrassed me talking all nice about me and whatnot, because I try to live up to the example Coach Herron showed to me. T.L. Hanna, we've gone through a lot of transition. We had probably the most successful senior class they've had in a long time graduate. And then the last day of school, Coach Can attest to this, and Mr. Wilson on Wednesday, Coach Herron calls me up and says, "Coach, I'm retiring." And my response was, "Well, crap." You know, because I didn't know what the future would hold, and so we've kind of gone through a transition. Then I want to thank Mr. Wilson and Coach Can and Mr. Mayfield for taking a chance on me and giving me the opportunity. I'm just really excited to be a part of this opportunity. The kids, we talk about numbers all the time. We've had great numbers, and that has a lot to do with the success that Coach Herron brought to our program. We have 171 kids on the roster. We have 50 freshmen and 120 10 through 12th graders. So the program's really looking up as far as the numbers go. We had great attendance this summer. Went to a lot of camps, wing T camp, defensive camp, and then took them off to Epworth for a team camp. Had some bonding time, went to the beach and things of that nature while we work on our football. Emerald, tonight's going to be, they're going to be really big and physical. It's going to be a good test for our young team. Graduating 26 seniors last year is really going to be a test for us. We have 4 guys back on defense. The middle linebacker, Cam Chandler, is really our emotional leader. We also have Jalen Thomas, who started last year on the defensive line, Preston Petway, who plays pony for us, which is an outside linebacker type position, DB position, and Janike Truesdale, who started at corner. And we've actually got Janike playing on the offensive side of the ball some this year as well. Offensively, we have about 5 returning starters. We have 6 or 7 guys that played a lot last year, but for starting wise, we have about 5 starters. John Brown, the big left tackle, we moved him from left tackle to right tackle for us this year. Who's got a couple of offers from Virginia Tech and Coastal and places like that. He's been starting since I've been there as a sophomore. So he's back. Will Thompson, he played center for us last year. He's back. Both starting guards are back. And then our left half, J.J. Hudson, who's just going to be a junior, started for us last year as a sophomore. He's back. So we've got a good core group back as far as the offensive line goes, but we really have a lot of young and inexperienced guys that we've got to find out a lot about tonight. And Emerald's going to test us in that. They've actually switched offenses. They're going to look a lot like us, which maybe the wing T's catching on. I don't know, but they're going to play with tight end and a split end and 2 and 3 running backs, 2 wings and a fullback. So it'll be a short game if you come, because we're both going to run the ball a lot and throw it a very few times. So if you come to that game, it'll probably be over with in about an hour and 45 minutes. But we expect big things this year from our team. And I just want to wish the coaches good luck as well. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. I know Coach Evans because we work together. But the other guys, I look forward to getting to know you guys in the future.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Doug Shaw from Palmetto High School. And I always like to bring this out because, we got several coaches. Coach Tate's a Newberry graduate, and Coach Shaw is a Newberry graduate. And so we're always glad to bring that out because they're such a great coaches. And of course, you can tell, you probably can remember, I finished Newberry and what a great person I was. I guess you understand. But Coach Shaw graduated from Newberry, and of course, his 7th year at Palmetto. This is 2nd year at Coach Shaw and the Palmetto Mustangs playing in Class 4A. So they moved up a little bit. And Coach Shaw is married to Stacy, and their son, Luke, played outside linebacker for the Mustangs last year. Palmetto plays Woodmont tonight at home.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Excuse me. And again, just what everybody says, you guys do a fantastic job. It's always a pleasure to be a part of this group. I spent 10 years in Greenville County with the Greenville County Touchdown Club, and this group right here is just so huge compared to what that was, and that's a big county. So I'm very thankful for what you guys do for our kids, recognizing all these programs, and football's important. It's important to me. My son's actually here today. He just graduated, played for me last year, and so I know what you guys do for those kids. So that's, again, thank you for that. But like Mr. Brissy said, somebody, I don't know who did it, but somehow we ended up in 4A, and that's not where we want to be, but it is what it is. We got one more year. We think we're going back to 3A at the next realignment, which will come about this year. So, but somehow or another, we jumped out and we went 4-0 in the non-region, and then we lost to Seneca in there, 49-48, and then we hit the region and we go 0-5. And we numbers for us are not where some of the teams that are in our region are. Now we're going to play BHP and we're going to play Wren whether we're in the region or not. But that's a tough region for us to be in. But I can tell you right now, our kids, they fight. every single day and every week, and they're not going to quit. That's one thing that they have done. They've proved to us, whether we came up on the short end or not, they're going to push and push and push. And, so I'm proud of them for that. And again, we're going to play Woodmont tonight, and like Coach Tone said, their splits are tighter than what he has. So they ran a quarterback sneak against Greenville last week. First play, 10 yards. They got them all in there, boxed in there together, and they kept the ball for 18 minutes out of the 24 minutes of the second half. So we've got to be able to execute when we get the ball, because they're not going to turn it over. They turned it over last night in the JV, so we can't hope for that. They're not going to do that tonight. So very tough team, much improved team from last year. And I know a couple of these guys are in the conference with them. And they tried to run the option last year. Didn't work. So Jet Turner went back to Jet Turner's offense, and it's all in a phone booth. They're all tight, packed in there so tight. So, but big game for us tonight to get off on the right foot, coming off of the skid we had, towards the end of last year. So we have a young man, Landon Owens, who's one of our returning players that so far has played, since we've started, has played quarterback, running back, receiver, defensive back, outside linebacker. He returns kicks, he returns punts. And you've seen the old Bugs Bunny video cartoon where he plays tennis with himself. If we can figure out how he can throw it and go catch it, we're going to do that too. So, but really good football player. Blakely Williams, we return 7 guys on offense, all of our receivers, and most of our linemen. So 4 guys on defense. That's the big test. So the young boys that are over there on defense, some of them had playing experience, but quite a few of them were JV guys last year. So, but so far so good. We'll go in there tonight and see what we can do. And again, it's going to be a quick game, and if we can execute when we have the ball, which may be only a few times, then we feel good about it. So we've got to be able to get the ball back from Woodmont. So again, thank you guys for all you do. Good luck to you guys all season, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next on my list is Coach Shelton Evans from Crescent High School. Coach Evans is entering his 2nd year at Crescent. He's had a very successful year last year. He graduated from Crescent, played at Charleston Southern University. He's married to Candace, and they have 2 sons, Mason and Maddox. Crescent plays McCormick tonight. Coach?
Blacksburg. We play McCormick last
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Okay.
That's okay. Thank you guys for having me. I need to clarify something, Coach Radford. Was that a home run or a foul ball? There we go. Good. That's a big difference in that. That's a big difference in that.
Somebody misprinted that for me.
Gotcha. You guys, y'all can keep that $100. Y'all can just feed me from cake next time if I'm lucky enough to come here. That's some good stuff. Appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for having me. If you saw us in the preseason, we put on probably some of the poorest execution of football that you've ever seen. Coach Early left, so I'm going to pick on him. I blame him. He blocked the punt, and I thought special teams was dead, so it's his fault for our preseason woes. But we're getting better, and, they asked me to come back for year 2, so that's good. That's a good thing. I must have done something right, or we must have done something right. But it could be worse. My name could be Coach Tone, and I could be taken after Coach Heron, so that's tough shoes to fill there. It could be a little worse. But we're going to be fine at Crescent. We definitely don't have 171 players, but we got about 48 of them, and them some guns play hard. So we're fortunate to have them, and we get after it. So we go to Blacksburg tonight. It's about 2 hours and 45-minute trip. So we'll get on the bus here in a little bit, and we'll give it everything we got. We played McCormick last week, one of the ugliest games in a while. We finally started at about 10 o'clock, so that was rough. But lightning delay on the 3rd try, we got to play some football. We squeaked out 21-20. So if I'd have told you before we played, I had no idea what we was going to put on the field, but those guys fought, and we won, so I'm proud of them. And we'll suit up, and we'll get after it tonight. So thank you guys for being here. And come watch a game. Thank you.
Good luck to you, Coach. Good luck. Last on our list is Coach Russell Blackston from Belton Honey Path High School. He's getting to be one of the old guys around here. Coach Blackston is entering his 10th year at BHP and been down there for 20 years. He's been at Belton Honey Path as long as I've been president of the Touchdown Club. I didn't realize that. The Bears finished 8-3 last year. They captured the Region 4A, 1-4A championship. Of course, he's married to Robin, who comes to a lot of our meetings, or has in the past. They have 2 sons, Will and Alex. Coach Blackston's father, Larry, is he here today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Larry, stand up. He's been a long-time member of our club, been a supporter. The Bears play Powdersville tonight.
Thank you.
Coach?
Thank you, Anderson Touchdown Club, for what you do for molding young men. Football's a tough game for tough people. Football is still a challenging sport. It's not easy. Okay, you have to sweat, you have to hurt, you have to work hard, and that's not a thing our society likes to do. So again, thank you for helping build a locker, a foundation in these young men, something they can take home and have a lot of pride in. Real quick, I want to recognize Chad Gamble real quick, if you'll stand up. While Chad's standing, folks, you can have a seat, Chad. Chad Gamble's our director for our Anderson area FCA, and Westside High School hosted our Anderson County Jamboree, and those guys did an outstanding job. But I want to recognize Chad real quick just for a second. So you had 4 games on Thursday, 4 games on Friday, and after our game, when we had our devotion with both teams sitting there, it was just an amazing thing, the pride and the truth that he spoke to our young men about. Chad had an altar call at the end of each game, and it was amazing to see what the decisions that young men were having for Lord Jesus Christ and things like that afterwards. Then we get to our Friday night game because, you know, we practiced that Thursday, so a lot of my varsity coaches didn't get to come, but I was there. Friday comes, same thing, and then seeing young men stand up for the first time, second time, you know, just amazing things. So Chad, I really thank you for what you do. Okay, I really enjoy your passion. Okay, and again, thank you, Chad, and thank you for Westside High School for having a first-class event earlier in the year, and it was a nice job. BHP football, we're carrying 106 players. You know, we're 4A football. We return 6 seniors on the defensive side of the ball. We return 4 seniors on we return 4 starters on the offensive side of the ball. Something at BHP, we're still going to be BHP no matter what. We're going to find a way to be physical. We're going to find a way to be physical, and we're going to find a way to be physical. That's who I am. That's what I know. We've been doing a lot at BHP talking about life after football because everybody's football goes flat at some point. Okay, the air goes out of it, and you know, I just sitting there talking to a young man in the class the other day. Coach, not too good in the classroom. I love this game of football. But Coach, what do I do after football? You know, what do I do? Invited him over to my house to talk about it. Tears running down his face. You know, this thing is real. Life is real. And we're strongly encouraging our kids at BHP. I've got a big old sign as tall as this wall. Where will you be after BHP? We're trying to instill a lot of those characteristics in our young men. We have 25 seniors. Very excited for our opportunity. It's been a different preseason. Normally, I've been at BHP for 20 years. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to work there, 10 years as assistant, 10 as a head coach. Normally, we have 4 or 5 preseason contests. This year, only 2 because of the weather and some rule changes. So we really don't know what we're going to be yet. We really don't know. We played, you know, in Abbeville Jamboree, we played 27 snaps of offense, about 31 snaps of defense. Against Westside is about 25 plays each. So we haven't really seen our identity. I know where we're going to become. I see that in our team. But I'm anxious to get out there and play 4 quarters against a good Powdersville team. Coach Mustar of Powdersville does an outstanding job with this program. Extremely well coached. They're going to be everywhere they're supposed to be. They're going to throw the ball where we're not at, you know, and they're going to do a fine job with their running game, and it's going to be an exciting game. I'm excited. This year's different for me because, you know, I'm a big family guy. My father and my mother, they support me in everything I do. My son's a senior, and that's different because this is the last run with him. My younger son, 10th grader, does not play, which is good too. That's fine because they each one to his own. And it's just been a unique year. It's been great for myself and my son, the memories that we've shared. And when I was setting out uniforms today, you know, I was going through, when they come in for our pregame meal, I want everything right that goes smooth. Sitting there, put that old 34 jersey out and pants, and I was just sitting there thinking, my, how time has flown. But it's been a good time. It's been fun. We're anxious to get this year kicked off. Thank you, Touchdown Club. Thank you, Chad Gamble. Good to see Coach Coates, my dad, former principal, Mr. Henry Adair. I appreciate you. You tore my tail up a time or two when I was in high school. Never will forget that. Normally, I get to go first, and then people talk about me when I leave. And you see some people bending over and laughing, and one got up and left, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to be a better man than they were, okay? All right, so I'm just going to leave it. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. What a great day it's been to hear from all these coaches, and we look forward to seeing all you play during it. And I wish the best for everybody. And I just looking forward to this year, and I have to say that I think I've said it a lot of times before, but that's the best group of coaches in South Carolina. I think we have the best group of coaches. We have some of the best support with our school districts. Tom, you just do a great job here in District 5, and all the other school districts superintendents have picked up, and they're doing a great job. I think I told this last year, but I was down at Brooklyn Casey, the old school where I coached. Coach came out and told me, he said, you know, District 5 is changing the whole picture in South Carolina. I said, no, what are you talking about? He said, you see that field house we're building over there? That's the reason we're building it. Everybody's been looking, and now I understand that Belton Honeypath and some of these other people are getting the same thing, and I think it's tremendous the way they started, and we're so proud of where we live. Thank you so much. Thank you, members. Touchdown Club was started in 1981. Actually, Ike Brissy, who was at the Chamber of Commerce at that time, and Dwayne Loftus was sitting around, I think, having something to drink one Sunday afternoon, decided that maybe we ought to do what Green was done and start a Touchdown Club. So they did in 1981. So we've been organized, been a good club ever since then. They've done a great job. And the purpose of the Touchdown Club is to try to bring speakers in to talk to the club members, but the main thrust of the club is to make awards for the high school kids each week who excel the previous Friday night. So we've been giving awards since that time, and the awards are enormous. I mean, the number that we've given, and we've had great sponsors, and so the main thing, as I said, is to try to give these awards to these players, because when I was coaching years ago, nothing meant anything any better than to be invited to the Greenville Touchdown Club or the Columbia Touchdown Club and take a kid over there to get an award. And I think it's they last for a lifetime. I think they remember that for a lifetime. So that's the main purpose, that I've been president of this for 20 years, and they put up with me for 20 years. And we've made a few people, upset, but we do it for the kids. That's the only reason I'm involved. And the speakers are very important, but I think the awards to the kids are the most important thing for the whole thing, and I think that's the reason it's gone on so many years. We just have a tremendous leadership with some of the people, and most of the people that have been involved have been 20 years or more doing what they're doing. And that's the reason I made a decision this year. I think it's time to get some new blood and try to get some new people in here working. And we're going to try to get somebody, to come in and learn about it, and maybe start off next year with a bigger thing than we've ever done.
You're still going to be a part of the club, even though you're not president?
I will be very active in the club. I'll do that until they plant me, until they put me on the. And somebody asked me today, said, well, you don't look like you're 88. Said, you look like you're older than 88. But somebody else said, you don't look like, how'd you keep looking like you're looking? And I said, well, my late wife wanted me to look real good, so I look good in the casket, but I'm gonna foul that up. I'm gonna be cremated. In fact, I may tell you this, and in fact, my lifelong dream is to be cremated and thrown around the water intake so y'all can drink me the rest of your lives. You can go into a bar and have a bourbon and bill or, a special drink. I think it'd be real good to do that, don't you? I still ride my Sea-Doo. I'm on my Sea-Doo on the weekends on the lake, and we're real active still in real estate. So I'll be here till I croak, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
And remind people when the club meets and how they can come get involved.
The Touchdown Club meets every Friday. We'll meet for the next 12 weeks, really. And we'll have a speaker for the next 12 weeks. And you can come to the Anderson County Library. We meet the food line opens at 11:30, and Mama Penn serves the food. It's $11. If you're a visitor, it's $15. And you can buy a membership, though, for $50. And that will give you be able to come in, but you pay for your meal at $11. So if you're thinking about visiting some of them, you'd be better to buy a club membership at $50. And then we have a corporate membership for $200, and you can buy 5 memberships at $40 each, and that will give you 5 memberships. And that's a real good thing for people to use. You can use that for visitors. You can use it for salespeople. You can award them something every week, different people in your business, buy a corporate membership and send different people to the club to enjoy what we enjoy. And so if you're interested in joining, you can call 864-934-2423. And that's Bill Brissett Real Estate, and we'll be glad to get the information to you. And I appreciate all these years and what the backing that we've had, and it's really been a fun situation all the way through. And I thank you for what you're doing. I really do.
And if people want to get to know who's who in Anderson, this is a good place to come do it.
You got a really cross section of people in Anderson, and there's a lot of good things that happen here. And if you want to come in and meet, we last year we had 199 members. That's including the corporate members. So usually we'll have about 100 to 150 members that come every week. And today, I think after the game, we were off a little bit, but not too bad. I think we were off just a little bit. But anyway,
some of the coaches mentioned this is maybe one of the most successful touchdown clubs anywhere.
We're told that by a lot of people that speak around, and I'm very proud of that. I mean, we haven't done anything exceptionally different for most people except make it work. And we'll have an annual meeting every year. This past year, we had the annual meeting, and Perry Turtle spoke. But then we had some of the Clemson football players there that were on the championship team, and it was a very successful meeting. And then we put out a program that I mentioned earlier, a printed program, and that program is one of our main fundraisers during the year. And it's just been I started this about 15 years ago, I think, and putting this program out. And it's been a really good fundraiser for us, and so we have some money. I mean, we started off pretty much broke, but now we have money to operate, and we've been very successful. I'm just happy that I'll be able to turn it over when the club's in what we feel like is in good shape.
About he's been doing this for a lot of years. What has Bill Brissett meant to this Anderson Touchdown Club?
Bill has really kept this club together. He got started being the president about 20 years ago, I think, and there was a time where it was real strong when it first started back in the early 80s, and then it kind of waned off a little bit. But Bill Brissett came along and served as president and really got things back going well, and he's just worked tirelessly to see that this club is a success, and I think it's the best touchdown club in the state, and Bill Brissett deserves an awful lot of credit for that.
It's going to be some big shoes to fill.
He's got small feet.